Hello there YouTube, and welcome to a pretty small car boot haul video today. We only hung around at the car boot sale for literally 2 hours before we had to disappear and try and get some Glastonbury tickets for my friends so they can come with me, but we weren't as successful as I would have liked us to be. But never mind, on with our car boot haul video. So first thing I bought today was probably one of the best things I've found at the car boot for a long time. This is from Sue, the lady who tends to have boxes of like 50p each stuff. She had this box and it said £10 a lot and it looked like little toy soldiers. But when I actually got in and had a closer look, they're like Dungeons and Dragons and early Games Workshops little things. I mean, they're going to be amazing for me playing Dungeons and Dragons, that's for sure. A tenner for the lot. There's about 90 little minifigures. These ones in this top left-hand corner here, they're all like 1980s Lord of the Ring ones, so I'm not interested in them. We can probably stick them on eBay. And then all these little, I think they're dwarfs in the corner there. This is unfortunately missing a wheel, but I'm pretty sure this is how it's meant to be, like these orcs being dragged along, and this one on the back of a wolfy thing. Real shame about this dragon. He's missing his head, he's missing his arms, so that's a shame. I was very enthusiastic picking these up, and I said to Sue, if she sees any more, would she put them aside for me? Because I see her all the time. She was like, yeah, of course. If that's what you like, I'll put them aside for you. Anyway, on to some other things. I was looking at this Razor ray gun. Now, unfortunately, it's not working. Like, it's stuck. It just doesn't do what it should, which is a shame because I tried it a couple of times. I think I tried doing it real slow at one point and it did move, but yeah, it's jammed. And the bloke was like, mate, just take it. So I was like, you know what, I will in that case, because it could be worth something. Bought this 50p. It's going to be part of a D&D set. Bought this Diagram 8, or Diagrams 8, or Diagrams, I don't know, Tall Buildings 8. It's a limited edition, transparent, signed thing, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be worth very much. We're going to come back to some of this other stuff down here because there's a bit of a story with that. Bought this, which is nice and metal. It's a lovely little shield. Be very good as a D&D prop thing. It was £2, so I thought that was a bit of a bargain. Bought this, a bunch of dice for 50p. Asked this lady how much her Playmobil figures were, and she said 50p, so I put a little bundle together, and she said £2, so bang those on the bay. A few little bits here that could be good for D&D, a little wall. I don't know what I'll use this for, but we'll think of something. And then 2 micro machines. Fella wanted £1 for the lot, so you can't go wrong with that. Found this. There was a big bunch of dinosaurs and animal toys and a couple of Godzillas. This Mecha Godzilla is in okay shape. And there was another one that was nicer, but he was busted. Asked how much, they said £1 for this one, £2 for this one, and when I asked how much for the 3, they said £3, so can't complain with that. Bought an inflatable flamingo. It's going to be used at Glastonbury, and same seller is the person who always has mugs. Now, they didn't have very many cool mugs this week, but I did like this StarCraft one. Strikes me as being like very 70s or 80s, I guess. But yeah, no trademark, no maker's mark, nothing like that. But I thought that was cool. It's the only nice one they had. This Blade comic book, number 2. Now it says Marvel Direct. It has Marvel.com. Wesley Snipes on the front. On the back there, it says Got Milk 1999. So I'm guessing that's, from 1999, but who knows. Bought this for £1. It's like one of those fat wheeled car things, but in the style of Ghostbusters thing, which is pretty cool. Bought this little Scalextrics thing for 50p. It needs a good clean, but we'll turn it into something D&D related. Bought these 2 very cool looking walking sticks. They're like almost driftwoody. They were 50p each. I think we can turn them into D&D props. Bought this for £5. This dragon statue thing. Not a huge fan of the backdrop of it, but I did flip it over and it says limited edition. Looks in pretty good nick. Seller had some other cool stuff, so I asked how much this was. They said £5, so I started carrying it around. And then every time I asked, how much is this, how much is that, the bloke would be like, oh, that's £15. Yeah, that's £15. Yeah, that's everything else was £15, which was a real shame because he had some cool stuff. And then some other fella came along and he just picked up everything that I picked up that they said was 15 quid and was like, how much is this? And the bloke was like, fiver. So I don't know if he just didn't like the look of me or something, or maybe he thought his wife had priced this too cheap so that he had to make the money back somehow. I don't know. But yeah, I missed out on a few other things that were pretty cool because I wouldn't pay 15 quid for them. I would have them for a fiver. Got given this cool Pepe Le Pew. Asked this fella how much this really funky rock is. It's like quartz, but there's like a lot of pinks and blues in there. But it was only £1, so I said, yeah, I'll take that for £1. And then I saw he had this spitting image. I always want to say Prince Charles, but I guess it's King Charles now. I guess it's a magnet. My assumption is it's a magnet. He wanted 50p for that, and then I asked him about Pepe Le Pew, and he said, oh, you can chuck that in for free. So I got 3 items for £1.50, so I'm treating them as 50p each. Looked this up online. If it's what Google Lens says it is, it's actually quite an expensive chunk of rock, but it's just very pretty, so it'll go on the shelf. Bought these little bits, little walls and accessories that I'm going to use for D&D. The 4 items were £1, so 25p each, can't go wrong. Bought this. Someone had a big box of like old school Chap May looking stuff, and I pulled this out because I think this would be a really good D&D prop. Like the height is like perfect to just have like figurines dotted all over it, so that's amazing. I said how much, and the dad and the son were like £1, and then the mother was like, no, it has to be 2. So I was like, you know what, 2 quid. I'm laughing. It does say something on it, like Sainsbury's. Yeah, Sainsbury's supermarkets. Very strange to have a Sainsbury's sticker on there. But yeah, really like that. That's well worth 2 quid in my eyes. And also bought this. These are nice little bookends. Is it quartz? I don't know. I like shiny rocky things and crystals, but I don't know what any of them are called. But yeah, he wanted 3 quid for the pair, so that was pretty cool. Right, on to the next bundle thing. So this woman, she had a box of Halloween decorations, and I said, how much for Halloween decorations? She said, oh, well, you can have all 3 boxes for 20 quid. And I went, I don't want 3 boxes full. I want to pick out the good stuff. So I picked out this little hollow axe thing. It'd be a good D&D prop weapon. And I picked up this Halloween party light and sound thunderstrobe. I thought that will be banging for D&D when, you know, you're going up to some castle and the thunder and lightning. Thought that'd be amazing. It's only a £5 new from B&M. So I had that and I had that, and then I rummaged around and I found these shoes. Well, in fact, I found one shoe. And I looked at them and was like, oh, they look Adidas. They are Adidas. They're not terrible nick. They're not in great nick at the same time. But I thought I'll ask her what she wants for the shoes, strobe light, and this thing. And she said a £5, and I thought, you know what? I can probably keep those 2 things that would have cost me a £5 and probably a couple of quid. I can probably flog these online, make at least twice me money, 10, 20 quid maybe once I've cleaned them up. So I thought, there we go, made me money back, got me other bits as freebies. So that's pretty cool. So I went back later on, and she had this big bag of toys. Oh, in fact, she had like this tiny little Star Wars minifigure. It's almost like a Micro Machine size thing. It was just in a bag of junk. So I said, oh, you know, can I have a rummage in this little bag? And she said, just have it. Just have the whole bag. And I was like, I don't really want to be lumbered with it all. Some of it was just crap. And she was like, well, it's only going to go in the bin. So I thought, this is the time to be with this seller. She's just like giving stuff away now. So I took that little minifigure thing for free. I saw this box of Lego. Now, God knows if it's complete. It has like lots of little bits in there, but who knows if it's complete. But I thought, she's basically going to charge me nothing for this stuff, isn't she? Because she's just giving it away. There was this nice little Lego box. Don't know if it has any value. There was this big bag of seashells. Now, I always find there's like multiple uses for seashells in my world. Some nice ones I tend to put in the bathroom, like in the bathroom window and on the shelves. However, the shelves are pretty full at the moment, so I can use these for D&D because they will have a good purpose in one of my D&D campaigns, or I can put them in the forest because whenever I'm leaving little gemstones, it's nice to leave a big seashell as well. So I picked that up too, and then as I was rummaging boxes, I found this Bleu de Chanel perfume. It's probably, let me see if we can show you how much is in there. Yeah, it's not full by any means. It's probably quarter full, something like that. So I gave it a spray on my hand. My God, this actually smelled really nice. I wasn't convinced it was blokes or whether it was women's, but regardless, it did smell pretty good. So I grabbed this pile, the seashells, these 2 Lego things. I went over, what do you want for these? And she said £3. So in the end, I'd spent like £8 with her for the strobe light, the shoes, the axe thing, the seashells, these 2 bits of Lego, and this Bleu de Chanel perfume. So I had a little Google of this, and eBay has empty bottles for £16. And full bottles new on the Chanel website are £149. And it is for blokes as well. It did have a kind of blokey smell to it. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. That is going straight in the bathroom, and I'll be using that on very special occasions. But that is really nice. So yeah, I was actually really chuffed. I know we only had like 2 hours car booting. Oh, well, we had 2 hours at the first car boot sale, and then an hour or so at the second car boot sale, which is where I got this assorted tat, as well as the 2 walking sticks and the little Scalextrics thing at the back there. Everything else came from the first car boot sale. But I'm really chuffed, really happy that I got some D&D bits. Oh, and Sue, who has all the D&D stuff, she had some pretty rocks as well. No idea what that is. It broke up a little bit in my bag. But, yeah, they can get used in D&D somehow. Big chunk of Fool's Rock as well. They were 50p each. So it was £11 that I spent with 2 in total. But for all my talking of that'll be good for D&D, that'll be good for D&D, actually getting D&D figurines was really cool. Some really nice aftershave. The shield that I can find one almost identical on Etsy for like £48. This thing, which is just going to be banging. This thing, which I've looked on eBay, they're going for about 50. So we can stick that up and pretty much make all the money back that we spent the whole day, and a bit more on the shoes maybe. Get rid of these Schleich and this, and yeah, I think all in all I'll keep is the prop stuff for the D&D and the rocks and the gemstones, the shield, some little bits for D&D, the aftershave, everything else. Oh, and obviously most of the D&D figurines. I think we'll try and sell like the Middle-earthy Lord of the Rings ones, but all these things are cool enough to keep hold of. So although it was a short car boot sale, and it's a bit of a sad day that I couldn't get my friend's Glasgow tickets, we got some good stuff. We did. So it's not such a bad day all in all. So yeah, that's this week's car boot haul video. Stay tuned. Next week there will be maybe 1 big upload on the Monday, or maybe 2 uploads, depending on how we do on the Sunday. Might even go selling. Because if I ran around and just bought like I did today for the first 2 hours, and then sell the crap, like the stuff that you will have seen on videos that is just not selling on the bay, so that's going to go back to the car boot from whence it came. So yeah, we might do a bit of selling, bit of buying, and then there'll be a bonus one on the Monday. Anyway, hope you're all enjoying this beautiful weather, guys. It is glorious down here. So yeah, hope it's as nice weather for you. All the best, guys. Bye.